It is Wednesday afternoon, and it's time to start wrapping up with our From the Field interviews with Latham Seeds. Joining us one last time today, we've got Jerry Broders on the line. Jerry, thanks so much for stopping by on your busy day.
Thank you, Liz. Always enjoy talking to you.
We have had such a wild and crazy harvest season. No rain to interrupt keeping the farmers out of the field, but that's not necessarily a great thing because they've just been going full bore. And maybe a good time right now to remind our farmers to stay safe and stay hydrated this year.
Absolutely, Liz. I mean, this is probably going to be as quick a harvest as we've seen for a few years. I can't ever remember flying through as well as we have. And like you say, the lack of moisture has kept the combines rolling. Guys need to take time to take care of themselves as well as take care of their machinery and everything else. We have a burn ban in my area as well as a lot of places in Iowa right now, and some folks evidently decided they were going to burn some stuff, and it got away from them. We had a couple cornfields catch on fire. Just took our volunteer fire departments a lot of work and a lot of time to get that put out. And I know we have bearings go out on combines and things like that, and with all that dust and all that dry material, it can catch fire really easily. So it'd be a good idea to make sure that you still carry a fire extinguisher in that combine.
The dry conditions or the heavy wind can be a factor, but when you tie them both together, you just have a big knockout punch. So it's better right now to keep in mind that the burn bans are in effect. Don't be starting those fires. And like you said, make sure to have that fire extinguisher or two handy to where you can quickly and easily access it.
Absolutely. I mean, we want everybody to be safe. Looks like we're going to have a very successful harvest this year, and we want everybody to be able to plant their crop next spring.
Well, let's talk a little bit about what happens so far this year. How are the yields coming in? I know over this way the guys are just ecstatic with the numbers that they've got coming in from both the corn and the beans, but I don't have any specific numbers. Do you have anything that you can help us out with, Jerry?
Sure do, Liz. I've been taking out plots as well as watching all the first trials come in. We've gotten quite a few results in on soybeans so far. Corn's a little bit behind that, but I know we've done very, very well with from 1.8 maturities to 2.3, 2.4. Those are the early results that are in as far as the soybeans, and there's been yields just knocking on the door, 80 bushel yields on beans. Corn is doing the same thing. I got the results from the Washington first trial, and Latham 6159 Smart Stack product did 262 bushel, and it won that plot. There's some really, really nice yields out there, and it gets to the point where, okay, are they real or aren't they real? And you just try and get as independent and honest answers as you can get, because not everybody's going to see those type of yields up in the 80s on beans. I've heard several averages in the mid-70s, but I've also heard guys that have been in the 60s and some in the 50s. It all kind of depends where you were, how your ground lays, how well it drains, how much ponding you had. Just like every year, it's different. You never know what you're going to get. It's like a box of chocolates.
That's a great way to put it. Mama always said we got to love a box of chocolates, right?
Absolutely. Variety's the spice of life, if you will.
Well, Jerry, like you said, the variables are all over the place for our farmers, as well as their yield results. But looking into 2016, now's a great time for our guys to be looking to see what they can do better, what they can do different, and what Latham has to offer them for 2016. Let's talk about that.
Well, absolutely, Liz. I mean, you're in a perfect position sitting in the combine, and you've got lots of time to look at that as you go. And I know a lot of guys have auto steer in their combines and things like that. So you can be taking notes on the fields. Do I need to improve my drainage? Do I need to tile? Do I see areas where maybe I need to work on my fertilization program? And also, I urge everybody to go to lathamseeds.com just to kind of see what everybody's where the yields are coming in around not only around Iowa, but you can look at Minnesota, Wisconsin, South Dakota, North Dakota, our entire footprint that we cover, as well as Nebraska, to see what the yields are. It kind of gives you a leg up, if you will, in marketing, because you kind of have an idea what kind of crops coming in, actual, and you can kind of be planning and looking at how these hybrids are doing, because it gives you a report on the soil type and things like that, so you know exactly what's going to fit. Because I've had guys ask me, well, how come you're beating some of the multinational companies with what you have out there in the field? And the explanation that I give for that, Liz, is the fact that we can be very geographically specific in what we place out there for varieties and hybrids. We don't have to have a hybrid that's going to cover 3 or 4 states. So when you can be that specific, you can kind of fine-tune it and help our growers get as much productivity as they can per acre.
And again, that information is online at thefieldposition.com, or you can find it at lathamseeds.com. Jerry, before I let you go for the year, I guess, anything else you want to add for our farmers?
Just urge everybody to be safe, have a